Crazy.
Herzlich willkommen.
Boah.
Geht's ab?
Ja. 130, ne, und doch.
Müssen wir nur im Auge behalten, wer alles reinkommt.
Hallo.
Hier kann man gar nicht drücken.
Im Tiefkühlfach.
Genau, nochmal herzlich willkommen. Wer möchte, kann schon anfangen mit Fragen in den Chat stellen, was euch so einfällt, was ihr gerne von ihr wissen möchtet.
Wir sind heute mal drinnen übrigens.
Zur Abwechslung mal nicht draußen in der frischen Luft.
Langweilig.
Genau. So sehen wir aus, ohne Mütze und ohne Schal. Man
Ihr
sieht
seid
auch,
weit
was
geworden.
der Friseur hat mittlerweile.
Da ist sie.
Sollen wir sie rein?
So?
Nee.
Ich muss jetzt draußen bleiben.
Ich sehe nichts.
Ich versuche sie gleich anzunehmen, dass wir sie haben. Ich gehe sie mal so schnell suchen. Annie, where are you?
Hi.
Hi, nice there.
How are you guys?
Hey.
Welcome, Annie. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Cool.
Oh, and is Gabriel on?
Gabriel, let's see. Gabriel, are you there?
If he's here somewhere, then happy birthday, Gabriel. I
Gabriel,
you
zeig
turned
dich, sag
18.
was.
Awesome. But I guess she's not here because you are too early. 1 minute too
Oh,
early.
I'm too early?
Yeah.
I'm a minute early. Okay.
No, we were so nervous and just hoping that you get here. Like,
You're worried I was going to bail? I wasn't going to bail.
no, but I was like, all the time differences with Daniel and you and me. And this is a great relief. Everything worked out.
What time is it what time is it at your place?
It's 6 in the evening. So
Okay.
we're GMT 0. We never change. There's
Okay.
no daylight saving or anything here because it's going to be dark anyway. So it doesn't matter if we try to change it.
Cool. And the weather?
Freezing, but beautiful.
That's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the questions yet. I know they're like already popping up, but we're gonna wait a few more minutes so that this doorbell noise stops. When everybody's in, then we can.
Sounds good. I love that we're doing this. How many gyms are a part of this?
100 right now, round about 100 gyms from Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and the Netherlands.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's really smart. Really smart. It's easier to participate in these kind of things when you know there's a lot of gyms. I get requests from a lot of gyms, but it's hard when it's like, yeah, I can't do all of them, but doing something like this makes it a lot easier.
You now made like 100 gyms very happy. I think today might be the first day actually where we fill up all 300 spots that we have in the meetings, because we are already at 240 participants.
Nice.
I think that's more than we ever had before.
All right. Hopefully I'm not going to let people down. I'm going to answer your questions as well as I can.
It shouldn't be too tough.
So are you guys doing a workout after this or?
Yes, we have a big open prep on Thursdays where we have Jonas Müller from Switzerland. He's leading a workout for 1 hour. Then we have Janus, who is here currently with us as well. It's his birthday as well, if you want to say happy birthday, Janus.
Hey, happy birthday, Annis.
And he's doing mobility. And then we have kind of like a mindset coach that like sometimes it's Kat Elias from seminar staff. Today it's Sasha Schmunk. And they just talk about like how to approach it and kill the game.
Very cool. That's very cool. That's a long day.
He said, thank you, Annie. But it's really it's awesome that you're here, and that's really, it's incredible. I guess yeah, for all of us, it's a big honor. I have to emphasize on that. It's really cool that you made it. And Lisa, she was so nervous. She was incredibly nervous. So it was really, we can't let the people in until she shows up because yeah.
We were already thinking about getting a wig for Raul to dress up as you, just so that we can have something happen.
I'm close.
Just be totally ridiculous, so that it at least is entertaining. But this is much better. Sorry, Raul, but this is much better.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I mean,
Good evening.
no doubt.
Yeah, sorry, it's not me that takes care of all the communications, but I make sure when Daniel says I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think on Monday I had a brief chat with him on Zoom, and that was like, okay, now we talked in person. Now this is all set in stone. It's not just emails.
oh, it's real.
Yeah. I was like, I know what you look like now if you let me down. No kidding. All right, we are at 265 people.
Nice. I think it's so cool that you guys have this is going to be a long day for you guys, starting off with this, and then you're doing a workout after that, and that's real commitment.
A lot of people were also, a lot of people were also asking if you could do a workout with us. Maybe next time.
I'm up for joining one of those. Absolutely.
Would you?
Not now. I'm done with my workout today.
Yeah, not now, but one of
But
them.
I'll jump in on one. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's do that. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sehr schön. Freuen wir uns.
We have like 40 classes going from early in the morning till late at night, so that we can make sure everybody finds what they're looking for. We have Pilates, yoga, mobility classes, typical butt classes, kids classes. We're now building afternoon programs for kids, and yeah. So
That's so cool. That's smart.
we're trying to survive because we have no idea how long this lockdown will last. There's no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. It's so hard to follow up what's going on in all the different places, but it seems like most of Europe is on a lockdown now. Thankfully, Iceland has opened up again.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Gyms were closed in October, November, and December here. And then we got to open in January.
Looks like you had a better strategy, because what they did here was, I don't want to say the word crap, but it was very close to crap what they did here. They closed especially those places who made all these precaution measures before, with the hygienic stuff and so, and the rest was open, all the schools where the kids were. So nothing happened with the numbers were still high. And then after in December, they just closed down the schools and the kindergartens and all that stuff. And then the numbers went down, but it was already 1.5 months later. So
Yeah.
not really clever, let's say, not really clever.
We've been going front and back with open schools, but most of the time kindergarten's open. And then schools, they did it I think kind of smart. Kids went to school and 10 kids together, and those kids were allowed to continue playing together. So it was neighborhoods, and they were in school for 3 hours at a time. And it was, yeah, it's also, we're 300,000 people in total, and we're on an island. We should be able to manage something like this. Honestly, it would be pretty pathetic if we wouldn't be able to manage it here. So
True, but
yeah.
just look to Great Britain, what these guys are doing. I mean, there it becomes more horrible than it was everywhere else.
Yeah, I think it's hard there also because of all the public transportations. Here, we don't really even have that. It's, you go around on your own car. Yeah, it's easier to manage here. We had 2 cases yesterday, and both of them were in isolation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we should make
Everyone
Germany
just
a
come to
little
Iceland.
No, because then we ruin it for you guys as well.
No, you're stuck in quarantine. And then when you're done with that, you can come and play at my gym.
That's very
Do
tempting.
that. Come on, guys. Let's book a flight and just go there.
10 people at a time.
Across Reykjavik. Here we go.
So it's 285, 15 places left. Guys, speed up for the last places. Very, very
Are
nice.
we waiting for it to fill up?
No, it's
Okay.
pretty steady now. So,
Okay.
and we already have a big blog of questions for you.
How many
Like-
questions do we have?
20 by now.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, one of them is please train me. So we have 19 questions. All right. Usually I do like a short introduction of the people that we invited. I don't exactly feel the need to introduce you to anybody. So I'm just going to start with a very brief story about how I learned about you. So in 2008, I watched Every Second Counts, and I saw Tanya Wagner, and like, then there came 2009, and she actually won the games, and I was impressed by her because she was so different from me, because she was like half as tall, twice as wide, and just so very different. And then there was you, who pretty much came there like a kid comes to a playground. They told you like, oh yeah, there's muscle ups in the workout, and you were like, oh cool, what's that? you actually got your first muscle up at the finals from the CrossFit Games, which is very impressive. And I think just by that, it was different instantly to every girl that was watching the games, because you didn't seem so different. Like you just approached it as a fun event and you just played with it pretty much. And this was actually the first time that I thought that I myself could like get some stuff done. Before that, it was just my husband being really into it. And yeah, it just kept being like that. You were always the proof hard work pays off, and you don't have to be like a freak of nature. You just work hard and you get there. So that's, I think, why everybody likes you so much.
You've been in it for long.
Yeah, I'm old.
Well, me too then.
No, I was already much older when I watched you start. I was like a late bloomer, so yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely never forget that year. That was, for the ones that don't know about me, that was my very first real CrossFit competition. I competed in Iceland and got my qualification spot 2009, but that was like a random sign up. I was just competing in everything at that time. Just like saw a competition. I'm like, oh, sign me up, I'm competing. And we have all these like different fitness events here in Iceland. And one of those events was CrossFit, and I won, got my spot at the games. And I was like, okay, 2 months to prepare for the CrossFit Games and figure out what CrossFit is all about. And I was in really good shape beforehand. Like I've been doing gymnastics and pole vaulting, and was doing boot camp and competing, like I said, in a lot of like odd competitions here in Iceland. And so I tried to learn some Olympic weightlifting. I had never done that before. And then some of that CrossFit gymnastics. And I was more thinking about this will be a cool trip. I get to go to the USA. So that was like the selling point there. But then I competed at the Games 2009, and it was the most fun I've ever had competing. I did gymnastics, and that was fun. I did pole vaulting, and that was fun, but it was always the same thing. But CrossFit, it was one of the best moments ever, getting my first muscle up on the stage there. But it was also one of the first times where I've been competing and failed at something. Even though I got my very first muscle up, I saw it as I got 9 muscle ups that I did not manage to finish. And it was the first time where I couldn't just muscle my way through it or want it enough and then I would get it. And that was what made me like love it, like the atmosphere there. And my competitors were trying to help me out, figure out. My judge was so involved. You see pictures and videos of that. Chuck was my judge there, and he was like jumping up and down and trying to like help me do this. And I was like, this is so different from anything I've ever done before. I'm going to wait with going to med school, and I'm going to try to compete at the CrossFit Games next year and win it. And haven't looked back ever since.
Yeah. Awesome. Everything is very different this year for you. Your life changed completely pretty much.
Yes.
Are you competing in the Open this year?
Yes. Well, the plan is to compete in the Open this year. I would say that I'm in a really good conditioning shape. I've been biking a lot. I've gotten like a love-hate relationship with the assault bike and the C2 bike. I've been doing a lot of that. Quite a bit of bodybuilding, like dumbbell work, just to make sure that I'm maintaining strength. But there's still some of the higher skill gymnastics movements that I haven't gotten quite down, and I'm not lifting super heavy yet. But I'm hoping 60% ready for the Open would be enough, and then 70% ready and in quarterfinals. And then I don't feel like I really need to be ready until May. So the goal is to compete in the Open and then gradually build myself up for the games.
Okay, so this is your big goal for 2021.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, realistically, I think that can happen. Obviously, I'm like treating this as an injury, and you need to do it the proper way. And it's taking me way longer than I expected it to be. I think everyone's birth can be different. Like some might have like a sprained ankle from it, and other tear their ACL. And I think I got like on that ACL side of it, just like the recovery process is taking a long time, but I am recovering. And I would say I'm probably in one of the best conditioning shapes I've ever been in. So that's an exciting part.
Yeah, that's very good. What does 2021 have in your like to-do list on top of that? Like sports-wise,
Ooh.
maybe if you want to tell us some personal plans, that's up to you, but like
there's quite a lot. Well, the games is one of my biggest goals, to be there. I've never just wanted to participate at the games. I'm not really there. I want to compete for that podium. So that's obviously my goal. And then I got quite a bit of projects going on. So I'm excited. I don't think I'm gonna talk about all of it here because I'm not allowed to really say a lot of it, but me and Katrin are working on a few things together. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've started like building up Dottir a little bit, and we're doing, we'll be bringing out some project that we've been quite passionate about for a while now. So hopefully the first one is going to be coming out in March, April. You guys will definitely notice that, and that's going to be something that all of you guys are actually going to enjoy. And then, there's going to be something coming out for kids as well. And that's going to be end of this year. So I'm sorry, that's like a little bit vague, but I have a lot of like business things going on, which is kind of exciting. It's like a little bit different from just training.
Yeah, it's constantly evolving like you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how is it working right now? Like you say, you're in the best conditioning shape. I think we all see your Instagram stories. Like you kind of celebrate the moment your daughter goes to sleep and you can start training in peace.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know. I think I might just be really, really lucky with my daughter. But she sleeps all the way through the night. So she goes to sleep around 9 p.m. and she wakes up at 6:37 every morning, and she doesn't drink at all in the night. So we get like a full perfect night's sleep, waking up earlier than usually, but I can deal with that. And then she sleeps always at least 2 hours, 2 times 2 hours in the day. And that's our window to train. So she's awake for about a couple of hours. We drive to the gym. She falls asleep in the car, put her in the stroller, and she's out for 2.5 hours. Then we go home and have food and go back to the gym. She falls asleep and sleeps for another 2.5 hours. So I can train 4 to 5 hours every day.
That sounds almost too good to be true. I think now everybody,
right? Like, I don't think it's supposed to be like this. I think this is too good.
Well, you're maybe just very lucky. Like, I don't know. I can't complain. I have 2 kids and they both are fantastic sleepers. They sleep so long in the morning that I get to train before they even wake up. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's quite amazing because then you have energy to play and do things with them in between. But yeah, it's really, really nice. I thought it would be harder. I thought that me and Frederick wouldn't be able to train as much together, and he would have to have Freya and then I would have to have her and like take turns. But so far we've been able to train together twice a day, almost every single day. The only times where it's hard is if we don't sleep great through the night. Obviously, I'm not taking a nap with her or something in the day. But we've been doing this almost since she was 2 months old. I've been able to do that.
Awesome. Also a lot of time for you and Frederick. That's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and then somebody was asking if you're interested in team competitions as well.
Okay, so I've always been interested in trying to compete on a team. I've never been in a team sport. I thought competing in invitationals was one of the more fun competitions because then you're competing with athletes that you know so well and you're usually competing against them and now you're competing with them. And I've really enjoyed that. I wasn't super interested in competing when it was 6 people on a team because I felt like it was just too many people in the round and so hard to follow. So I got quite excited when they changed the format to 4 people on a team. Now we're changing the rules again. So it has to be from within the affiliate. And I think that's really cool, but it makes it a little bit harder for me here in Iceland, maybe, to figure out a team. It's definitely a possibility somewhere in the future. I've often been thinking about it, but it would have to be with the right people. I'm not saying that they would have to be at the exact same level, but I think the most important thing is that they would be willing to suffer. They'd be willing to work as hard. I think I've competed in like those weird events I talked about here in Iceland, the fitness events. We've had these like team events there. So I've competed on the team with girls there and boys there. And the people I enjoy competing the most with are the ones that are willing to put in the work. They don't have to be just as good as I am or as strong or whatever, but they need to be willing to put in the work and they need to be willing to go. If we need to do 400 meter, 200 meter, 100 meter, like split it down in the athletes, I want the person that raises their hand and goes like, I'll do the 400 meter. If I'm the best, I will do the 400 meter. Not the one that step back and like, oh, let me do the short sprint. Like step up to the plate and be willing to suffer with me. And if I see that you're suffering, then you're my teammate.
All right, so you invited all of us to come to Iceland.
Yes.
So you have 300 new people at your affiliate already.
There we go.
Maybe some of us are good enough.
Just make it look like you're trying really, really hard and then it'll be like, all right, you're my teammate.
Yeah, and then we can just lean back and wait. There are a lot of questions about your mindset, your mental game, like how, like your days are really short right now, right?
Yes.
So it's maybe hard to get motivated and keep going.
Yeah, so I actually get that question a lot about motivation, and I've listened to quite a few lectures when it comes to sports and being a professional athlete, and I feel like almost every single person talks about that you have to be motivated to be the best. And I don't like when they say that because nobody is motivated all the time. And I don't want people to think that we're motivated all the time. I'm definitely not motivated all the time. That would be pretty crazy if you would be. Obviously, I have a motivation, and every single year my motivation or my drive changes. But I think the most important thing for me every year, I figure out what's my why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to be doing this? And that's what I look at when I'm having a hard time. And that's what I think about when I wake up and my body is hurting, like everything seems to be hurting and I'm sore. I'm not going to be super motivated to go to the gym and suffer some more, but I think about my why and I'm going to go to the gym. And I think by going to the gym, you start getting more motivated. Like that's how you find your motivation, when you start becoming better and better, but you're never going to go to the gym and you're never going to become better, or not even just gym, just things in life in general. If you're always thinking about that you have to be motivated all the time, then you're going to give up. But by showing up, you're going to get and become motivated, or you're going to become better. And then you get that fire in between. So I hope that kind of answered your question. I am definitely motivated and driven and excited. And I think that's why I like going so much to the gym. And one of my whys is I love being the best. Like I love becoming the best, being the best version of myself. And I love, I don't know, that feeling. You guys have the same, I know it, otherwise you wouldn't be doing CrossFit. But when you finish a workout and you did everything you could, that feeling afterwards, the pride that you have in yourself, that's what motivates me. That's what drives me. I know that I'm going to feel so much better afterwards. And when I'm suffering in a workout, I know that I'm going to feel so much better if I continue. Rather than slowing down, I'm going to be disappointed in myself if I let myself off the hook like that. So therefore, I push even harder. And I also know every time I push, when it's really, really hard in a workout, if I'm doing something that's really, really tough, I think about that's exactly at that point where I'm pushing my pain threshold. Like we all have this pain threshold that we can push further and further. So every time we get to that point where we want to stop and we continue, we're pushing our pain threshold like a little bit further. And that's where I feel this is where I'm becoming better. And other people are going to maybe give up or slow down. My competition is going to slow down right here. But here, I'm not going to slow down. Here, I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to do better. And that's how I'm going to get a little bit further than they are.
Awesome. You said you listened to some motivational speeches or tapes, something. Is there a book that you would recommend somebody asked? Is there like could be something totally different, doesn't have to be just mindset training, but just.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. There's one book that I think is really, really good. I'll figure out the name. I'll let you guys know the name. I'll send it to you. There's a lot of really good books that I've written, but I feel like there's a lot of the same in them. And there's a lot of different lectures that I've listened to and seminars that I've gone to, but I feel like there's always just like a few things that I like from some of them. So yeah, I don't think I would like to recommend just one piece, but I will recommend this one book. I just don't want to say that wrong name of it. Yeah, I'll let you know, Lisa. Okay. If I don't have it by the end of this, what is it called again? That's so annoying. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll get it.
But yeah, if you haven't, like, it doesn't even have to be sports related. But just like motivational speakers, like Tony Robbins, for example, like I think he's amazing. It's just nice to listen to him. Like he's got an incredible voice, but he also has like just really good stuff in general to listen to.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you're doing a lot of bodybuilding, like just
yes.
Possibly getting like all the tightness and strength back into your body. How often would you say this is supposed to be in a CrossFitter's training plan?
That's kind of hard to say, because I would say off season, I would do this more often. So it depends on where you are in the season. I really enjoy doing it, in my building phase. So when I'm not competing, then building up that base strength is really good. Then I would maybe do it even twice a week. just some functional bodybuilding. I'm not talking about just like bicep curls and tricep extensions, but like I really like working with dumbbells, and I like doing bench press and incline bench and shoulder presses with dumbbells, working like Arnold presses and CISA press, just like where you do one shoulder at a time, Bulgarian split squats, like, yeah, where you need to work on the stability as well, and not, because we do so much with barbells. I think it's really good to go back to the dumbbells and do some of those just like basics, a little bit more isolated movement patterns, and then you can figure out a little bit what it is that you need to work on.
Okay. Then there are a lot of questions about workouts. One is your favorite and least favorite benchmark workouts, and also the hardest workout you have ever had to do.
Ooh, benchmark workouts. It's been really long since I did it, but probably one of my favorite workouts is the 7. I think that one is really fun. 7 rounds, 7 movements, 7 repetitions. Like it keeps you going. And I feel like that's a workout where there's no stopping because it's only 7 repetitions. So I think it's like, yeah, I think that's a really fun workout to do. So I've done it quite many times. Least favorites. I don't know. Probably like I really like the Chief even. Thinking like a really long AMRAP. I'm not like a huge fan of AMRAPs, but I still like some of those benchmark AMRAPs. The worst workout I've ever done is also kind of difficult to say, because I would say I enjoy doing Murph, but the worst workout I've ever done is probably 2015 Murph, where I got the heat stroke.
Yeah.
It's probably like the most miserable workout I've ever done. But if you would ask me outside of having done it at the games in that heat and gotten the heat stroke, then I would say Murph unpartitioned, I would much rather do than Murph partitioned. Like I like it better 100, 200, 300 than doing many rounds. So yeah, it depends a little bit on the situation, but I would probably say my least favorite workouts would be something with too much running in it. I don't want to say it out loud because I'm working on this and I'm really, really good. Like, I'm not going to say I'm really, really good at running, but I am a really good runner. But for some reason, in competition, in the heat, it just freaks me out. Every single time it shows up at the games, it's like, oh shit, am I going to get a heat stroke again? Like, is this going to happen again? So I'm a little bit afraid of running, which is why it's probably not my favorite thing to show up.
Okay, then let's talk about favorite and least favorite movements.
Let's just put running in the least favorite. But no, it's not fair though, because I kind of like running though. I do enjoy running. I enjoy going to the track.
Yeah.
Favorite movement would probably be Olympic weightlifting. Power. I like power movements. I don't love squatting. I've decided I don't dislike squatting, but I have no emotions towards squatting. I've decided there's no emotions that come there. I need to get those squats done, so I get those squats done, and my legs are getting strong. But I enjoy pulling. I like deadlifts. I like power cleans. I like power snatches. Everything with a strong pull in it.
Okay. They're stuck on the running now. How many kilometers do you think you have been running in 2021 so far? I mean, it's dark and wet outside, so there's.
Oh, in 2021, 0.
Yeah.
0 kilometers. I'm still working on that pelvic floor strength, so I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. I don't need the running yet. So I've done 0 kilometers in 2021.
Okay, stick with
that was easy.
Somebody asked for advice for teams competing in CrossFit since you started early.
Yeah.
What's the good foundation? I think everybody needs gymnastics, but what would you, which advice would you give teams?
Depends on the background that the teens have. I think the biggest advice I would give to teens is making sure to continue working with a coach. Don't start too early to need to be going to the gym and doing your own thing all the time, doing a strength program by yourself. Do it with friends. Don't quit school. You can do CrossFit with school. That's a big one. I went through school and I continued doing CrossFit, and Frederick finished his master's and was still competing at the games in CrossFit. Like, you have time, you just need to be structured, and you do not need to train 2 times a day. It is enough to train once a day as a teen. Yeah, make sure that you're having fun, have a good group of friends that you're training with. You're going to gain way more from that than following some sort of a program and doing your workouts by yourself. You want to have someone that you're doing it alongside with that pushes you, makes you better, having a coach that's going to be watching you, helping you with the early lifts. Rather do more repetitions to build up, make sure that your joints are getting stronger as well. Like, it's great to start lifting weights, I believe, early, because we can actually get more muscle fibers at that age. Like, while we're still growing, we can get more muscle fibers, but you don't have to be lifting heavy weights. Focus on the technique and the form, and then gradually the other things are going to come with it.
And that's pretty much good advice for anybody who wants to get better at CrossFit. Like, stop running all these crazy programs that you can buy on the internet and stick with somebody watching you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now there's a few questions about other girls.
Yeah.
Now the gossip starts. No, not really. It's just that you mentioned that you and Katrin are having like this project together, and somebody asked then, what about Sarah? How's your relationship with Sarah as the third of the original?
It's so funny that everyone thinks we're like not playing with Sarah. Iceland has 300,000 people, and there's a lot of people that do CrossFit in Iceland, and it doesn't mean that all of us are training together all the time. Katrin started CrossFit at my gym. Like, she went to the beginner seminar with me, and we've kind of just been friends ever since then and been training together a lot, and she trains at my gym. Sarah, unfortunately, lives, even though you guys might think that this is a short distance, in Iceland, 45 minutes away. That is like a semi-far away. It's the same as BK. He lives 45 minutes away, which means that we don't train very often together. But me and Sarah, we get along really well. But we train at separate gyms, which means that we're not together all the time. And we got to know each other after she has started CrossFit, and she has her own gym where she likes to train at with her friends and her training group. But like, for example, last open, me and Sarah met up and we did every single open workout together. Like, there's nothing, I know that people try to fish for something there, but there's honestly nothing there. So yeah, it's me and Katrin just spend so much time together and talk together almost every single day, which means that it's easier for us to do things. And we've talked about ideas that we want to do and projects that we want to do that we're passionate about. And yeah, me and Sarah more just train together when it fits.
Okay. And then there was a question about Tia. What do you think is her secret? Why she just dominates so much?
I have absolutely no idea. I gotta say, I absolutely love watching Tia train and lift. Like, she is so impressive. She's lighter than I am, but yet her squat is stronger than mine. And it drives me crazy, but it's also so impressive. Like, I don't know what her secret is. She's really, really good, but I also truly believe that I can be better than her.
Okay, tell us.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. Like, then
we're all waiting. Tell us.
It's difficult because she's definitely a better swimmer than I am, and I realize that I'm never going to catch up with her when it comes to swimming. She's definitely a better runner than I am, which means that I just need to try to make sure that the spots between in the running are not going to be, it's not going to be too big of a gap, and that's usually where I lose her a little bit. she's better at 1 rep maxes than I am, but let us cycle the bar and let's see what happens then. So and when it comes to just like regionals, sort of CrossFit workouts, I definitely think we can play a lot together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it gets all of us excited. We want to see this. Who does your programming right now?
So it's Jami Tikkanen.
Okay.
Finnish guy, lives in London, and he has a training plan. We actually started working together 2010, and we've been just working together ever since. I think I've challenged him a lot as a coach, and he's challenged me a lot as an athlete. I think we have a really, really good relationship because we've been evolving with the sport, and I want to understand why I do certain things, and I ask a lot of questions, and I don't just do whatever he programs. We have arguments and go front and back, but it means that we have a really strong and good relationship, and we understand each other, which is why I think it's worked for so long. And when we want things to change, we're open and we talk about it. So been working together for over 10 years now.
Yeah, and by now you wouldn't find anybody that knows you as well as he does. So.
Oh, exactly.
Is there anything that you wish, like stuff that you know now, something that you were like, oh man, I wish I'd known that like 12 years ago when everything started for me?
Whoa.
Like something where you feel like you constantly ran into the wrong direction and then just wasted so much energy, something.
I don't know. Like, when I get the question, if I could go back and change something, I don't think there's anything I would want to change, because then I wouldn't be where I am now. And I am very happy where I am now. And I don't think we gain anything from looking back and regretting things. That's not going to get us anywhere. Obviously, when I had my back injury, I was like, oh, why couldn't I would like to go back and tell myself not to go to the gym that day. I was feeling sore. I was feeling tired. I knew it wasn't the right time to be maxing out, but yet I did, because I was young and I felt like I was indestructible. I would like to go back and tell myself to stop in Murph and just like wait it out. And I probably might have been able to win the games that year if I would have just gotten last place in that workout, but been fresh for the rest of the games. But like overall, maybe advice I would give to myself is I tend to overthink things and trying to make sure that everyone is happy. And I think telling myself that is enough to be me. I learned that after I got my injury and I was worried about like people not believing in me anymore. And it turned out I just needed to believe in myself, and the people that stood by me then, that's the people that are in my closest circle. And I've been really, really fortunate with the people that I've been working with. So I think telling myself to just appreciate what I got and believe in myself would be like one of the biggest things, but nothing I would want to change.
All right. How do you feel about all the changes that happened to the CrossFit world lately? Like not just especially the games, how they were in 2020, because that was like nobody planned it that way.
That was shit. No.
But like the changes in leadership and the back and forth between sanctionals and maybe now regionals, what do you prefer and how do you feel about all the changes that have happened within 1 year now?
I think the changes are positive. That's been happening. I think there need to be even more changes, and we're working towards that. But I think the changes have been positive. I think most people can agree that it wasn't quite working the way that it was. And I don't think that the Open should be the qualification for the CrossFit Games. I believe the Open should be the first steps, because that's also one of my favorite things, that I get to share the first step with everyone. Like everyone at my gym, well, we have about 1,200 members at my gym, and 300 plus of them participate in the Open every single year, which means that 300 and something people of my gym take the first step of my journey with me
Mhm.
that we're sharing on my way to the CrossFit Games. And I think that's so fun because they are all so invested and doing the workouts again. And we're all thinking about the strategy, how to do the workouts and everything. So I feel like the open is such an important piece and has to be there. But I don't think it should be the qualification for the CrossFit Games. We need to have something more to qualify for the Games. I thought it was really weird. I got second place in the open last time we had the open, which meant that I qualified already for the Games. And it was so anticlimactic. Like, I had this spot for the Games and I found out that I had the spot 3 weeks later when the verification process was all done. But that was it. Like, I was sitting on my computer and it's like, oh, I qualified for the Games. Now I got to be ready in August. And that's just not how it should be.
Mhm.
I love regionals. I love the way that it was. Also, I think we can all agree we're in Europe, but like the European regionals was the best regionals. Like, you got to know all the athletes. We had competed so many times together. Like, the support group that was there, the after parties at regionals, like, no, it was just like this fitness festival for Europe. And I really missed that when that went away. And I'm not saying that we need to have the exact same regional format. I think it would be really cool to have some sort of storyline to tell. But bringing back those, regional, sanctional, whatever they want to call it, I think is a good move because we need an in-person competition. Also because by having the open as a qualification, I feel like we were taking away for a lot of people that regional experience was their Games experience, and we were taking that away.
Yeah.
And
More
that should be-
spotlight. Yeah, more spotlight for more people. It's-
Exactly.
You can't always be the one making it to the Games, but you should get the chance to show
Yeah.
your face, show what you can. Like,
100%.
somebody wants to know if you drink beer. I don't know why, but
No, I don't drink beer. I don't like beer at all. It tastes horrible.
any alcohol before that question pops up. Next would be wine and champagne. And
I probably drink like twice a year. I drink
okay.
post regionals, post Games, and maybe a special occasion. But
Yeah.
no, I'm definitely not a big drinker.
Okay. I mentioned earlier that you, for so many people, when you started, you were like maybe the girl that we were able to connect with the most. And now there's Haley Adams, who's also like looking like a girl that you meet on the street somewhere, and like not like a crazy competitor. I remember I had this moment at the Games when they did shoulder press, and I was like, oh my God, I can press almost as much as she does. And then the moderator or the counter said, it's something that you only develop as you get older. And I was like, damn it, that's not nice to say. The only lift that you get good at when you're old. But how do you think that she has like a big future ahead of her?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I think so. I didn't know how to answer that question first after like the first year she made it to the Games. Not because she wasn't good enough, but I was worried about just, it's hard once you get into the spotlight for the first time. It's hard with the pressure that might follow along with it. And being that young, I just remember when I won the Games the first time, how difficult it was for me to compete at the Games the second time. But she's dealt super well with it and continued to work hard. She's not taking it for granted that she's there. And I think that's the most important thing, is to believe in yourself, that you're supposed to be there. She was like lacking that a little bit. And I think she found that, and has also great mentorship with being with Rich and the Mayhem team that definitely helps you. But yeah, I do believe that she has a very good future in the sport.
And then obviously we still have a lot of questions that get more into your personal journey of recovering from giving birth, and a little bit of how do you manage to maybe be patient with yourself and just accept that maybe today this is not the day where I can lift this, where I can, I don't know, I saw you post a very proud video of you snatching 40 kilos when it worked again. And it's like, it just takes a lot of patience, and you need to be nice to yourself to understand you can't.
Yeah. It's definitely hard. Thankfully, I think because I'm able to bike, I can get and do workouts, like I can do quite a few things now. I can go hard, so I can get that endorphin and like that release that definitely helps me. I am for sure looking forward to just going to the gym and being able to do everything and not worry about, oh my God, are my abs separating? Am I getting coning? Especially because I don't even feel it. So it's like frustration that builds up a little bit. But I think when I'm being really harsh on myself, remembering everything that my body has done for me, and I can't really be upset with my body. Like, it's helped me compete at the games 10 times. It's helped me podium 5 times. I've been in peak shape for such a long time. And I created a perfect daughter. Like, she's so big and strong and healthy. Like, I can't be too hard on myself. And just being grateful for that. And that was also what got me through pregnancy. I had very, very few days that were tough days, but when I had the tough days, it was also thinking, knowing that I would have these tough days, would I want to change it? Like, would I want to skip being pregnant? Would I want to skip having this baby girl? And no, absolutely not. I would do it all again. And I would go through this injury again. And remembering then, and remembering to be just a little bit patient with myself is important. But I know this is like the right way to think about it. But of course, I still have the hard days, and that's okay. And it's okay to have tough days. We all have those, and letting myself just have those tough days. And if I need to cry, put on a sad movie and just cry a little bit. And then I feel so much better. Like, that also lets out the cortisol. And like, honestly, it makes you feel a little bit better just to do that every once in a while. But I'm just thinking about the big picture, I think, is important there.
Okay. And maybe this memory helps. What happened to you the moment you knew that you just won the CrossFit Games? Like,
what happened to me?
like inside, like, I don't know, like, did it take you a very long time to believe it, or?
Well, when I realized I had won, like, I still get like butterflies in my stomach. I feel like I can like relive that moment again. Like, when I had finished pulling that sled over the line, and I was like, oh my God, I won the CrossFit Games. I'm the fittest woman in the world. Like, I achieved this goal. It was amazing, like absolutely incredible. But the first thing I wanted to do was just like go and see my family, see my parents, see Frederick, see my coaches, and hug them. And I think in that moment, I realized how important it is to have those people with you. I know this sounds cheesy, but I thought about it. If I would win the CrossFit Games, I thought about it just a little bit later. Like, if I would win the CrossFit Games, but not have them there, but it would mean that I would get to win the CrossFit Games 10 times in a row, I would still not choose that, because you need someone to celebrate it with. You need someone to share that enjoyment with. And I didn't really get to share it. Obviously, getting onto the podium and standing there and receiving everything, like, it was unreal, being 21-year-old and holding that big ass check. And I'm like, oh my God, I have so much money. But when I came into the tunnels and I saw Frederick and my coaches there, like, that's where I started crying. That was like, now I can celebrate this. Now this is real to me. So I think that's probably one of the strongest feelings. And hearing, I had so many people from my gym there that year. We had a team from my gym, and so many from my family, like my cousins and my mom's sister and their kids. And like, there were a lot of people from my family there. And they all started singing this song, like a favorite song of mine that I was always listening to at the gym, and they all started singing it, and I can still hear it on like YouTube. If I listen to it, like when I went onto the podium, you can hear them start singing it. Like that's what made me feel proud. That's what made this moment so real. So yeah, I don't know if I really answered your question, but
Yes.
it was that connection with my family and the support, that the celebration that I got to feel. I felt like it was like a team win.
Okay, and there's always the question about nutrition that everybody gets asked. We already know you only drink alcohol twice a year. And then nutrition, do you have like a strict plan? Do you have cheat days? Do you reward yourself on horrible days with food, or?
Absolutely, I got my 2 days. I follow like pretty good nutrition. I follow RP, if you guys are familiar with that. It's like a template that I follow. I started working with them, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. Before that, I felt like I was eating healthy, and I definitely was. And obviously, like it's the obvious answer, little processed food, meats, a lot of veggies, and all of that. But what I realized that I was missing when I started working with RP, like I wanted to just see if I could take that next step, like where can I improve? And I knew that I could improve with my diet. And with them, I realized that I was just under eating. Like I was not having enough food, because I don't have a lot of appetite when I've been training really hard. Like right after a workout, I don't feel ready to eat. I might be able to drink something, but then like an hour and a half would pass, and then maybe I'm doing another training session, and then I don't feel like eating a big meal. So I ended up just eating a lot in the evenings. So we changed it so that I'm eating more throughout the day. And it was a huge difference for me to start having in training sessions, some carbs, like complex carbs that I started drinking, or aminos, or even start like have my protein towards the end of my session, just to have energy. It made a huge difference for my training, and it made a huge difference, for Frederick, because it meant that I wasn't upset towards the end of the session. So it was very good for our relationship. No, I get emotional when I get too hungry. So it was a very good move. But yeah, so I follow that, and definitely like in season. So I would like to say leading up to regionals when we had that. And then about 2 months before the games, I weigh and measure everything, mainly to make sure that I'm getting enough food in, and like at the right times around my training sessions, really important to me. But I always have my cheat days, and I always have that on Saturdays. Like in Iceland, I think Saturdays are just the official candy day. Like candies in stores, like in those like candy bars, they're 50% off on Saturdays, because everyone has candy on Saturdays. I'm not huge on the whole candy thing. I'm a big chocolate person, but I have ice cream every single Saturday. I need to have my big ass ice cream, and then I'm a happy girl.
Awesome.
Even the week before the games, I still do it. I deserve that ice cream.
Yes. So winning the games for the first time, was this your biggest, best moment in competition, or was there another competition that for some reason was maybe different, more special to you for personal reasons?
No, I think probably the biggest moment was winning the CrossFit Games. Winning the CrossFit Games for the second time, honestly, was a huge moment for me as well. Because I struggled a little bit more that year at the games. It was a little bit harder for me mentally, because I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm not doing very good in the beginning of that year at the games. So it was like a very big emotional win, or like mental win for me. And then I would say 2018 was a really big year for me as well. Maybe because even if I didn't win the games, I got third place that year. But after I had the heat stroke 2016, like I withdrew 2015, and then 2016 was one of the more miserable years I've ever had at the games, because I was just worried that I was going to get the heat stroke again. It was all I thought about the whole time, and I just wanted the games to be over. I was scared. Like, I was scared. It took me a really long time to recover from that heat stroke I had. I couldn't do push-ups for like 2 months. I got severe rhabdo and was just messed up. So I was scared that year. 2017, was it 2000? Did I get third place 2017? No, 2017. Wow, I've competed too many times, you guys. Yeah, I think it was the first year that we were in Madison. That was 2017, wasn't it?
I'm gonna make sure.
The first year we competed in Madison, that was a really big year for me. Mentally, one of the best things, because there were so many people that are just like taking me out. Didn't think that I was good anymore. Didn't think I belonged at the CrossFit Games anymore. Like, obviously I belonged there, but I wasn't playing with the girls anymore. And I knew 2016, I was in really, really good shape. I just didn't perform as good as I could have. 2017, I think I didn't do very good either, was it?
So 2017 was the first time in Madison. I just Googled it real quick.
There we go. Okay, then it was 2017. But yeah, I remember Dave was even like, oh, I think, like, I thought you were done. And I was getting, all media in Iceland was like, Annie's competing at the games again. And it was driving me a little bit crazy, the way they were portraying it. And I just knew that I was so much better than that. So getting podium again that year, I felt like myself again. I was like, finally, you guys are seeing. I wasn't done. Like, I was so much better 2015. I was so much better 2016. I am not old and I'm not done yet. So that was like, mentally for me to get back to the podium that year was really, really big. Yeah, 2018, I got 5th place. Yeah, sorry, done.
All good.
Done talking in circles here.
No, oh well. Somebody just had a follow-up question with this. How do you control your nerves in competitions?
Oof, I get really, really nervous every time I compete. But I kind of enjoy it. It's a part, I tell myself it's just my body getting ready to compete. And I honestly think if I didn't get nervous anymore, I would probably quit, because it would mean that I just don't care anymore. I really, really care how I perform and how I do. I've worked so hard to get where I am. And every single time, especially at the games, like, it matters, but I've worked so hard to be there. I've already put in the hard work, and that's where I get to just show how good I am. And the nerves are me longing to show it, because the worst feeling ever is walking out from the competition floor and being like, I could have gone faster. I could have done better. Like, that's the absolute worst. It's fine if other girls beat me, but knowing that I could have done better is the worst feeling. And I had that feeling every time throughout 2016. And I learned from that, like, that's not what I want to do. So the nerves, I calm myself by telling myself that it's my body getting ready. And also thinking about that it's a privilege. There's so many people that would want to be in that position, that would want to compete. Not everyone would want to compete, I know that, but it is a privilege. And I am getting to experience this. I'm getting to have these nerves. I'm getting to have these butterflies. So thinking about it just a little bit differently helps with the nerves.
Awesome. So we have taken up an hour of your time, as we had agreed on.
Yes.
So I would say you think about a day and a time that you would like to join us for a workout.
Yeah.
We have also built something that we call the big box. It's this Zoom link that we are using right now, where we have a lot of participants, and it has different classes throughout the day, but all with the same link, so people meet and have rooms to go to and stuff. So we would set up something there. One room will be like workout with Annie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just throw down together.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, you guys. This is really fun, and have fun in the workout later.
Yes.
And
Thank you very much for coming here and doing this with us.
I
Probably the most excited we have been so far.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Annie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
We love
Thank
you.
you guys. Have a
We
good
love
workout.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Danke.
Bye.
Wow.
Vielen Dank, dass ihr alle da wart. Auf dem anderen Kanal fängt jetzt Open Prep an, wer Lust hat. Morgen ist Adel mit dabei und das Nutrition Training. Bleibt dran, schön, dass ihr dabei wart und ja, bis Kürze.
Bye bye. Tschüsschen.
Ciao.
Tschüss.
Open Prep. Jan,
Ja,
mit. Open Prep. Sarah,
bitte?
Lawrence. Open Prep machen wir jetzt. Open Preparation. Auf dem anderen Kanal. Sehr, sehr geil. Schön war's. Danke, Lisa, für die tolle Moderation.
Ich hätte auch noch eine Stunde gemacht.
Ja, das habe ich gemerkt.
Ich war ein bisschen nervös geworden. Ich habe dich da ja schon die ganze Zeit hin und her hüpfen sehen.
Aber ich finde, da musst du die Zeit einfach einhalten. Wenn die uns eine Stunde geben, ist echt super genial.
Ja. Also alle, die noch Open Prep machen wollen, Big Box Link.
Oh ja.
Wo findet man den denn?
Im Workout-Plan bei allen Sachen, die in der Big Box stattfinden.
Soll man schnell reinstellen?
Ja, das wäre super. Dankeschön.
Nochmal vielen Dank für die Orga und dass ihr das möglich gemacht habt. Echt voll cool. Super.
Ja, Lisa hat es gemacht. Big Job.
Dann dickes Küsschen nach Nordenstadt. Ach Gott, Nordenstadt ist ja ein bisschen weiter, aber gut.
Das könnt ihr mir bald so geben. Irgendwie.
Genau, also mal lieben Dank. Echt voll cool, dass sowas geklappt hat. Echt stark. Dankeschön. Dann einen schönen Abend euch noch. Tschüss.
Dankeschön, gleichfalls.
Ich habe ihn gefunden. Ja, den Timer jetzt.
Dankeschön.
I'm gone.
Da war ich.
Ach so.